So it looks better. It sounds better. Again, perception is reality. But Jason just pushed through and didn't fuck around, and has turned over the day-to-day operations to his chief operating officer, and he's looking to close before the year end. And unless something catastrophic happens, he should be able to. And in his particular area and in his particular field, I mean, there's a whole bunch of mom and pop, just as he was a mom and pop. And again, in his particular case, because he's asking distributors, sales contacts, and the reason that they're giving them the contacts is because obviously they want to accrue some sort of additional loyalty, so he'll continue to do business. And he mentioned a couple of times, he says, he's the distributor for A and for me too, me as well. But whether it's from scratch or not from scratch, obviously there's certain benefits that accrue to the people that are already in the various industries. But we have guys that have 15 years experience like he does in one area that decide to go into a completely different area. But he's passionate about it. And he sounds passionate. He doesn't fuck around either. And he's not polished like some of the people that you may heard. But it reminds me very much of my own experience, and where they don't fuck around in that industry. And the egos of, and he's just got a little company or medium-sized company. I mean, the egos of some of these guys in that industry are fucking huge. They make Donald Trump look like a fucking minister, which is pretty fucking hard to do. And I also heard through the grapevine, that Joe Rogan, of his infamous, whatever the program is, mentioned me a couple of times yesterday on his program. And he's the one that got Brian QLA Rose his start in life 2 years ago. So I haven't heard it yet, so I will listen to it. But they called me an old man, apparently, and they're afraid that I will sue them. Is that correct, Kat? They are afraid of a lawsuit. And if you want a lawsuit, you came to the right place. But I got no reason to sue him. I haven't heard what he said. But they were afraid, apparently, to... and it's about my... why you're so fucking poor. Which that particular clip has gone viral. And months ago. It's been viral a long, long time. And basically, I say you are so fucking poor because you're a cunt. And you were raised by a cunt who was raised by a cunt who was raised by a cunt. It is very simple. And your vagina flaps like this. It is quite simple. It does not take a rocket scientist to figure this out. Anyway, Joe, if you hear this, I'd love to be on your show. But then you can use my shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to sue you about it. And anybody that's got any, emails or whatever, talks to Joe, tell him he can use my shit, and I'd love to be on his show. But that is, we're trying to give you a potpourri, a spread of different personalities on the webinars. By the way, he's in upstate New York, and which you wouldn't equate to the energy, oil, but there's a big industry up there. And and so we've upstate New York, we've had Washington, D.C., we've had London, and we've had San Francisco, the Bay Area so far, and the kids that you listen to. And they're all over. They're all over. And so we've been in the medical billing, energy, dental roll-ups. Who? Cybersecurity. But I mean, we're in A to Z or A to Z, as they would say in this country. It doesn't really matter. I mean, what the fuck the industry is. And other than places like Although we are doing a deal in Nigeria and some other, they're harder because the corruption that's involved, but we're across the board in just every corner, just about every corner of the earth. The only two places that we're not in is the North and South Pole, which I've been to as well, but I wasn't looking for deals, and we didn't write it off for business. I was renewing my vows in both of those places. But any comments or any takeaways about who you just heard, other than he is not a bon vivant raconteur like you heard earlier or yesterday? Any takeaways about him?
Yeah, he was assertive with the bankers. He had no problem telling them they look like shit. That was just the way it was.
Yeah. I wish I had been. And that's exactly what happens. They come in like the dress down Friday, except out in the country, and even it's hard to believe that there's a country in New York State, but out in the country, they dress down every day. And so like the senior banker said, I didn't know we had a meeting. And so you put them, it just works. God damn it. I've been saying it for so long. It just fucking works. Of course, I say this slightly tongue-in-cheek. Some of you did not have a fucking suit before you came here. And that's why you're wearing new suits and with stitching on the shoulders and Jesus Christ. But that's fine. But you got to start somewhere. But he's a good guy. He's a ball buster too. Anything else about him? Any other takeaways other than he was quite different? Anything else? Okay. YouTube, we'll see you tonight. Thank you very much.